or you won't. You do or you don't. There's no gray area, and there's absolutely no excuse that holds water. Guys, welcome back. I am Jason Salyer, and I want to speak to you a little bit about specificity of training. We don't really know what we're preparing for, a lot of us. We have, ideas, best guesses, theories about what exactly it is that we're preparing for. But for the most part, we really just don't know. We want to be ready for anything. We want to be ready for whatever life may throw at us. And we don't know that, if we're honest, if you're honest with yourself, you don't know exactly what that's going to look like. That may be, the EMP situation. That may be the aliens attack. That might be the zombie hordes. It may just be the immediate, quick, fast, single attacker in a parking lot at Walmart. You just don't know. In order to be more prepared for all of those situations, we need our physical training to be as well-rounded as possible. And what exactly does that mean? That means that we need to vary our training in as many ways and in as different of environments as we can, obviously within reason. Training outside is fantastic. Training in a gym is fantastic. But there's a lot of limitations on the gym atmosphere. You know, you're always working on flat, even, level ground with easy to grip things. And life is not always going to be like that. I worked in collegiate athletics for a long time, and I used to have coaches were the worst. So some of the coaches were so difficult to work with sometimes because they wanted everything that you did in the weight room to look like whatever the sport was that they're playing. So let's say, for example, tennis, they wanted to do lots of like rotational stuff and band work and things like that. And really, if you're spending a lot of your time on those supplemental type things, you're just wasting a lot of time. You need to be in the gym, in a gym atmosphere. You need to be moving some weights. You need to be doing body weight calisthenics, multi-joint movements. What that means is basically, instead of doing bicep curls and wasting my time doing that, I could be doing a pull-up. And a pull-up is going to engage a lot more muscle groups than just a bicep curl and moving two joints at the same time. Everything that you do in a gym atmosphere doesn't necessarily have to look exactly like what you're doing. Like, you don't have to be carrying a rifle and dressed in your full kit loadout every time you go to the gym. For one, you'd look like a weirdo. Two, it's just not necessary. The gym stuff is designed, in my opinion, to supplement the real life stuff. I lift weights, I do bodyweight calisthenics, I run, I jump, I do plyometrics, all that kind of stuff. And I think that stuff is fantastic, and you should be really working hard on it. But you should most definitely be getting outside, doing whatever it is those things are that you anticipate needing to do. The best way to get good at something like that is by doing it. If you want to be a better basketball player, guess what the best conditioning is for becoming a more fit basketball player? Playing basketball. You need to be getting outside. You need to be training in the environment where you foresee problems occurring. Functional training is kind of a word that's thrown around a lot. Functional, right? What the heck does that mean? Basically what it means is that the exercises that I'm doing, doesn't matter if it's a barbell, dumbbell, or a log, is that it mimics real life, right? It kind of almost sort of resembles something that you might do in a real life situation. So, for example, with a barbell, I might do an exercise called a clean or a power clean. Most of you are probably familiar at least a little bit with that, where I bring a barbell from the ground and I jump it to receive it on my shoulders. That's a power clean. I'm gonna do basically the same thing with this great big old log. So if you come in here on the side, Jason, I'm gonna do basically that same motion, that same functional movement with a really odd object like this log. Basically, I just did a power clean each time I flip this log. I think most of us probably overestimate our abilities when it comes to physical abilities. And I've heard this quite a bit is, I've got a labor-intensive job, a really active physical job. Let's say you work in the construction industry. You're moving things, swinging hammers, and lifting 4x8 sheets of 3/4 inch plywood. And yeah, that's great. That is fantastic. And your overall health will I think, be benefited from just having a active lifestyle. What you're doing is basically a really low intensity activity for a long duration, for a long period of time. Fantastic. However, most survival situations happen really fast and they're really intense. And you need to move either your body or something else from point A to point B really, really, really quickly. And that is not mimicked for the most part in just an active job. Really super short duration, high intensity, explosive type training is absolutely crucial in my opinion, and you need to be engaging in that on a regular basis. Like I said in the beginning of the video, there's no excuses. I mean, whenever I post a video that concerns exercise, fitness, whatever it is, I always get, you know, mostly positive comments, but I get these comments of people saying, well, you know, what about if you're in your 60s, or what about if, you know, I guess one comment was, okay, well, how many pull-ups can your grandma do? Okay, all right. What about if I've got these injuries and I've got all this and that? Okay, listen, I totally get it. There's exceptions to the rule, but I'm speaking to the majority of you right now. I'm talking to you right there. The majority of people watching this video, you don't have a valid excuse for not doing something to better yourself physically. I am under the belief, and I really have been working on this. I slack off every now and then, just like everybody else. I'm not perfect by any means at all. I miss workouts. You know, I'm lazy on days, and I dread doing stuff. I ran 6 miles today, and I did not enjoy it. It's not fun to me. It's not something that I want to go do. It's what I need to do to make myself physically, emotionally, and spiritually stronger. And I think exercise, working out, it does a lot for all three of those. If you're 87, 90 years old, you're going to be reliant upon the younger people around you. And that's just the facts of life. That's the way it works. And hopefully you've got a good family and good friends. But for the vast majority of you watching, there's absolutely no excuse. You need to get off of your butt. You need to get out and you need to start moving. You need to start lifting weights. You need to start running. You need to start slow, whatever. I don't know what condition you're in. If you've been sitting on the couch your whole life, start out just walking, you know, every day until you build up a tolerance to that, and make it a little bit harder, and a little bit harder each day, and just to better yourself. Are you better than you were yesterday? That's the question. When you lay down at night, you put your head on your soft down-filled pillow, and you lay down in your Sleep Number mattress. Am I better right now than I was yesterday? Have I done everything that I can do today to be better, physically, spiritually, emotionally? If the answer is yes, go to bed. If the answer is no, get up off of your bed, drop to the floor, and give me 50. See you next time. We flipped the log, which is pretty heavy. I have no idea how much it weighs, but we flipped it together. I'd say 300 yards. Yeah? Just alternating off and on. And that was pretty hard. One end is significantly heavier than the other end. And it got slippery and wet. But we nailed it.
And there's mud everywhere.
We did it.
Wow.
Okay. This rope is called the Calf, and it's from Mute Sports Equipment. I'll put the link in the description. This rope weighs 3/4 of a pound, just the rope itself, and it's significantly more difficult than just a regular old jump rope. And I'm doing 10 sets of 20 seconds double unders.
Go, bud.
What do you call that exercise, bud?
Leaping frog.
Leaping frogs?
Yeah.